SHALAM, which means to Israel. Imagine, which means to stand. All right, Wapanya Habadon, which means to rise and face the east. All right. So I can bear with me. All right, Sar, turn. All right, we're going to start with the Lord's Prayer in Hebrew. Abanaw, Shabbat Shabbat, Kodash, Hayah, Shamka, Yahweh, Malakutka, Daba'a, Ratizaka, Hayah, Aisha, Ba'aratiza, Kawa, Hayah, Bashamai, Nathalanaw, Lakam, Kal, Yuwam, Maslachanaw, Kabawathnau, Kasalachnaw, Kabawathinaw, Wala'a, Dabayanaw, but say one, Abal, Hawashanaw, Mayan, Ra, Kaya, Laka, Hamalakwa, Wa Allah, Wa Tapara, Walumium, Aman, in English. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever, so be it. Hakah, the prayer for the power in Hebrew. Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahushai, Babakushai, the thunder now. Hakah, Hakah, La Pa'ah. Kal Makala, will call Marawa, Haka, La Tahor, Hamatazari, Haka, La Haku, Hamaku, Haka, Awakawa, Hatama Allah, the Garashan, by Hashem Yahushai, the water Aman, Yahweh, in the name of Yahushai, please give us the power to heal all men of sickness and all men of disease, the power to cleanse the lepers, the power to raise the dead, the power against unclean spirits, to cast them out in the name of Yahushai. Thank you, so be it. Prayer to bless Israel in the Hebrew, Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahushai, Barak Lenawa, Wayasha'Allah, Waha, Bayatsapari, Barak, Rapah, Magun, Hagun, Ba'ashim Yahushai, the water Aman. What we just said was Yahweh in the name of Yahushai. Bless us and Israel in the school. Bless, heal, shield, protect our loved ones in the name of Yahushai. Thank you, so be it. Psalms 121 in the Hebrew, Asha'at, Ayani, Allahari, Ma'ayan, Yaba'at, Aizari, Ma'ayin, Yahweh, Aisha, Shemaiah, Wa'aratiza, Al-Yathan, Lamawat, Regal, Al-Yanawam, Shemarka, Hana, La'a, Yanawam, Wala'a, Yayashan, Shalamar, Yasha'Allah, Yahweh, Shemarka, Yahweh, Tazalka, Al-Ya, Yanlinka, Yawamam, Hashimash, La'a, Yakarka, Wayarak, Balayala, Yahweh, Yashamarka, Makara, Yashmar, Afna Pashka, Yahweh, Yashmar, Tazahaka, Wabawa'aka, Ma'itha, Wa'ai, Awalam, Aman. I will lift mine eyes into the hills. From whence cometh my help? My help cometh from Yahweh, which made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. Behold, he that keepeth Israel shall neither slumber nor sleep. Yahweh is thy keeper. Yahweh is thy shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. Yahweh shall preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. Yahweh shall preserve thy going out and thy coming in, from this time forth and even forevermore. So be it. Psalm 83 in the Hebrew. Alahai, all the Mayalaka, all the Harash, all the Shakwat, all Kaya, Hana, Awayabika, Yahamayawan, Wamashanayaka, Nasha Awa, Ra'ash, Alaimaka, Yairayamba, Sawa, Wayataya Aitazawa, Altazapawanyaka, Amarawa, Lakawa, Wanakaki, the Mogoya, Wala'a, Yazakar, Sham Yasha Allah, Iwa, Kaya, Nawa Aitazawa, La, Yakhadwa, Alyaka, Baryak, Yakaratwa, Ahoya, Alawam, Wayashama Alia, Mawa'aba, Wagari, Gabal, Wa'aimawan, Wa'aimalak, Palashat, Ayishabi, Tazawar, Gam Ashawar, Nalawa, Imam, Hayo, Zarawai, Labanyalawat, Salah, Aisha, Laham, Kamadin, Kasaya Sara'a, Kayabin, Banakal, Koyashwan, Nashamadu, Ba'ayan da Ara, Hayo, Daman, La Adama, Shea Thumwa, Nadiyabawa, Ka'ira, Wakazaba, Wakazaba, Wakatazalmana, Call and say a Kamwa, Ashar, Amawa, Nayarashat, Lanawa, Na'awaf, Alahayim, Alahayat, Shea Thumwa, Kagogla, Kakwash, Lapanyoka, Ka'ash, Daba Ira Ya Ira, Wakalahaba, Dalahat, Aryan, Khan, Daradakma, Basa Ira, Wabasawapaka, Dabahalam, Mala'a, Punyaham, Kolawan, Wayabakashwa, Shemka, Yahweh, Yabashwa, Wayabahawa, Aya'a, Wayapaparwa, Wayabadwa, where the Iowa, Kaya, Asa, Shamka, Yahweh, Labaka, Al, Yawan, Al, Call, Haratiza, Aman. Keep not thou silent, O Yahweh. Hold not thy peace, and be not still, O Yahweh. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come, and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee, the tabernacles of Edom, and the Ishmaelites, of Moab, and the Hagarenes, the Baal, and Ammon, and Amalek, the Philistines, with the inhabitants of Tyre. As also is joined with them. They have hope in the children of Lot. Salah, do unto them as unto the Midianites, as to Sisera, as to Jabin, at the brook of Bashan, which perished at Endor. They became as dung for the earth. Make their noses like Oreb, and like Zeb, yea, all their princes, as Zabah, and as Amunah, who said, let us take to ourselves the houses of Yahweh in possession. O my power, make them like a wheel, as the stubble before the wind, as the fire burneth the wood, and as the flame setteth the mountains on fire. So persecute them with thy tempest, and make them afraid with thy storm. Fill their faces with shame, that they may seek thy name. O Yahweh, let them be confounded and troubled forever. Yea, let them be put to shame and perish, and men may know that thou, whose name alone is Yahweh, art the Most High over all the earth. So be it. The prayer for the blessings of the power structure in Hebrew. Barakatah Yahweh, why Yahweh Shah, why Mayaka Allah, why Allahaya, Matazadi Alawatihan, Ha Alawati, Ha Sarani, Ha Quantasayanya, Ha Kayayoya, why Wati, Yahweh, Mahashim Yahushai for what Amon. Bless you, Yahweh, and Yahushai, and Michael, and the angels, commanding General Yahanna, the general, the captains, the officers, the troopers, and the sisters. Yahweh, in the name of Yahushai, thank you, so be it. Sar, which means to turn. Yeshabi, which means to be seated. All right, go ahead, clap it up. All right, we're in Leviticus, the 14th chapter, verse 26. Waman, Hasheman, Yatazak, Hakahan, Al, Ka, Hakahan, Hashema Aliyah. Verse 27. All right. Wahaza, Hakahan, Ba'atazab, Salakia, Ba'atazab, Biowa, Hayamana, Salakia, excuse me, Salakia, Hayamanayat, Hayamanayat, Man, Hasheman, Ashar, Al, Kapar, Hasheman Aliyah, Shabai, Pa'ayam, Lapanya, Yahweh. Verse 28. Wanathan, Hakahan, Man, Hasheman, Ashar, Al, Kapawa, Al, Tharawak, Azan, Hamatahar, Hayamanayath, Salakia, Hayamanayath, Wa'al, Bahan, Yadawa, Hayamanayah. That thing is a tongue twister, Salakia. Hayamanayah, Wa'al, Bahan, Ragalua, Hayamanayah, Al, Makawam, Dam, Hasham. Verse 29. Wahana Wathar, Man, Hasheman, Ashar, Al, Ka, Hakahan, Yathan, Al, Ra'ash, Hamatahar, Lakapar, Aliwa, Lapanya, Yahweh. Verse 30. Wa'aisha, Ath, Hakad, Man, Hatharium, Awa, Man, Banayah, Hayawana, Ma'ashar, Thashiyag, Yadaw. All right, Salakia. 26. All right, verse 31. Ashar, Thashiyag, Yadaw, Akkad, Khata'af, Wa'af, Akkad, Al-Ilah, Al, Hamanah, so like Hamanakah, Wakapar, Hakahan, Al, Hamatahar, Lapunya, Yahweh. Verse 32. Za'ab, Salakia, Za'af, Pharaoh. So I keep clicking back because I want to see where I started. I started in verse 26, so this is my last verse. So like this is verse 32. This is we're in Leviticus chapter 14, verse 32. All right, this is Za'af, Pharaoh, Ashar, Bawa, Nagai, Tazara'if, Ashar, La'ah, Tashayab, Yadawa, Batahar Rathua. All right, let's go back up. Now we're in the book of Leviticus chapter 14 and verse 26. And the priest shall pour of the oil into the palm of his left hand, and the priest shall sprinkle with his right finger some of the oil that is in his left hand 7 times before the Most High. And the priest shall put of the oil that is in his hand upon the tip of the right ear of him that is to be cleansed, and upon the thumb of his right hand, and upon the great toe of his right foot, upon the place of the blood of the trespass offering. And the rest of the oil that is in the priest's hand he shall put upon the head of him that is to be cleansed, to make an atonement for him before the Most High. And he shall offer the one of the turtle doves or of the young pigeon, such as he can get, even such as he is able to get, the one for a sin offering and the other for a burnt offering, with the meat offering. And the priest shall make an atonement for him that is to be cleansed before the Most High. Verse 32. This is the law of him and whom is the plague of leprosy, whose hand is not able to get that which pertaineth to his cleansing. All right. We're in Leviticus chapter 14 and verse 33. All right. Leviticus chapter 14 and 33. Wayad Debar, Yahweh, Al, Masha, Wa'al, Aharon, La'amar. Verse 34. Kayak, Thabawa'ah, Al, Aratazah, Kana'ain, Ashar, Anya, Nathan, Lacham, La'achazah, Wanathafia, Nagai, Tazara'if, Babayath, Aratazah, Achazathakum. Verse 35. Waba'ah, Ashar, Lawa, Habayath, Wahagyad, Wahagayad, Lakahan, La'amar, Kanain, Nara'ah, Salakia, Laya, Babayath. Verse 36. Watazawa'ah, Hakahan, Wapanawa, Af, Habayath, Batsaram, Yala'ah, Hakahan, Lara'awaf, Af, Hanagai, Wala'ah, Yatama'ah, Kal, Ashar, Babayath, Wa'akar, Khan, Yaba'ah, Hakahan, Lara'awaf, Ah, Habayath. Verse 37. Excuse me. Verse 37. Salaki, Wara'ah, Af, Hanagai, Wahana, Hanagai, Bakwayath, Habayath, Shakwai. Ooh, this is a good one here. Shakwai Warath. Shekwa Irawath. Yarakwa Rakawath. Awa. Adam Damath. Wamara'ah Yahan. Shabal. Salaki. Shapal. Man. Hakwayar. Verse 38. Wayataza'ah, Hakahan, Man, Habayath, Al, Pathach, Habayath, Wahasagayar, Wahasagayar, Ath, Habayath, Shabaith, Yum Yum. All right, verse 39. Washab, Hakahan, Bayawam, Hashabayaya, Wara'ah, Wahana, Pasha, Hanagai, Bakwayarath, Habayath. All right. Let me see who checked in. Hector, Sister Bashamath, Most High Christ, Shalom, sis. Yahweh Shemar Tabashim Yahushua. All right, the sister Nizam Aina. Shalom, sis. Yahweh Shemar Tabashim Yahushua. All right. Let's keep on going. This is in the English. Now let's go back up. So we're in Leviticus chapter 14 and verse 33. And the Most High spake unto Moses and unto Aaron, saying, when ye be come into the land of Canaan, which I give to you for a possession, and I put the plague of leprosy in the house of the land of your possession, and he that owneth the house shall come and tell the priest, saying, it seemeth to me there is at it were a plague, Salakia. It seemeth to me there is as it were a plague in the house. Verse 36. Then the priest shall command that they empty the house before the priest go into it to see the plague, that all that is in the house be not made unclean. And afterward the priest shall go in to see the house. Verse 37. And he shall look on the plague, and behold, if the plague be in the walls of the house with hollow strakes, greenish or reddish, which in sight are lower than the wall, then the priest shall go out of the house to the door of the house and shut up the house 7 days. So this is boarding up a house like a condemnation. That's the perfect word. You know, when a house is condemned, this is leprosy or this is specifically speaking about leprosy that the Lord smote someone with. And so now the leprosy is in their house. Well, being clean, remember this is on the topic and the subject of being a cleanly people, a people who are medically and scientifically advanced because of the laws of God, that we know to quarantine. A part of quarantining is if someone has this sickness in this house, the house now has to be condemned, right? No one can go in there. It has to be condemned for 7 days. That's what it just said in Leviticus 14 and 38. Verse 39. And the priest shall come again the 7th day and shall look, and behold, if the plague be spread in the walls of the house, then the priest shall command that they take away the stones in which the plague is, and they shall cast them into an unclean place without the city. All right. Oh, Salaki, I'm sorry. I skipped ahead. Just 39, sorry. And the priest shall come again the 7th day and shall look, and behold, if the plague be spread in the walls of the house. And that's it on that. All right, Salaki about that. All right. This is Leviticus chapter 14 and verse 40. All right. This is Leviticus chapter 14 and 40. Watazawa'a, Hakahan, Wa'ala Taza Salakia, Wakala Tazawa, Banayam, Ha'abanayam, Ashar, Bahan, Hanagai, Shalayakan, Shalayakan, Athahan, all, Athahan, all, Makawataza, La'ayar, all, Makawam, Tama'a, verse 41. All right, verse 41. You hear me? I'm Salaki. I'm taking breaks because I'm in my mind counting we read 7. And for those of you who don't know, our culture is to read 7 verses. All right, so I'm just counting these 7, getting these 7 to make sure I start and stop at the right places. All right, we don't want to make no mistakes up here. Okay, this is Leviticus chapter 14 and verse 41. I'll be stopping at verse 46. All right, Wa'ath, Habaya'at, Salaki, Habayath, Yakwataza'ad. Yakwatazai, Mabayath, Sabya, Washabakan, Salaki, Washabakawa, Bakawa, Washabakawa, Ath, Haipar, Ashar, Hakwatazawa, Hakwatazawa, all. Makawan, Salaki, Makawataza, La Ayor, all. Makarum, Tama'a, verse 42. Wala Koka, Salaki, Wala Kwakawa. All right. Abayan, Abanyam, Akarawath, Wahabay, this is Baya Awa, Wahabaya Awa, all. Takaf, Haabanyam, Waipar, Achar, Yakwak, what tak, all right, Ath, Habayah, verse 43. I'm sitting there thinking, this ain't no so-called romance language, our Lashawan Kodash Hebrew, all that kwaka, that's not it's not romantic language like the so-called Latin languages our oppressor says, right? This ain't romantic language, but boy, what we saying is heavy, right? The way you say it is barbaric, like a baby, which is very important to teach the babies our Lashawan Kodash, our holy tongue, right? Teaching our children from a very young age this language, they'll pick it up and they'll catch on. Why? Because it's how a baby speaks. It's very barbaric, which is the reason why we were considered to be barbarians. That's where that word comes from, because of the onomatopoeic sounds that our native tongue makes. The ba, ga, like verse 43. Wa'am, Yashawab, Hanagai, Waparak, Babayat, Akar, Kalataza. There are no vowels. There's no O, U, E. You understand? That's not the sound Hebrew makes. It's ah. All right. Ha'abanyam. Wa'acharya. All right. Hakwatazawaf. Habayaf. Wa'acharya. Hatawaf. You hear that? That's the sound and that's the language of our people, of our God and of our Savior Christ. The Lashawan Kodash, the holy tongue, Hebrew. You understand? Ibar, ancient, old. You understand? This is verse 44. Waba'a, Hakahan, Wara'a, Wahana, Pasha, Hanagai, Babayath, Tazara'ai, Mama Arath, Hawa'a, Babayath, Tama'a, Hawa'a, verse 45. One of Fatazak. All right, Habayah, Abanyua, Wa'af, Itazayawa, Wa'af, Call, Ipar, Habayaf, Wataziya, all, Makawataza, La'ayar, all, Makawam, Tama'a, verse 46. Wahaba'a, all. Habayah, call, Yamya, Hasagay, Salakia, Hasagayar, Athua, Yatama'a, Hirab. All right, let's sit on that. Now let's go back up to verse 40. Leviticus chapter 14, verse 40. Then the priest shall command that they take away the stones, and which the plague is, and they shall cast them into an unclean place without the city, without anyone being there. They're going to throw these, what would you call that? Not tainted, even though tainted is a good word. You would throw these infested stones into the sea without people being there. So why wouldn't you want anyone there? Why doesn't the Lord want anyone there while these stones are being thrown out that have the plague, the uncleanness of leprosy on them, so that they don't get it? Right? Science 101. All right, Leviticus chapter 14, verse 41. And he shall cause the house to be scraped within round about, and they shall pour out the dust that they scrape off without the city into an unclean place. And they shall take other stones and put them in the place of those stones, and he shall take one mortar. So like he shall take other mortar and shall plaster the house. And if the plague come again and break out in the house, after that he had taken away the stones, and after he had scraped the house, and after it is plastered, Then the priest shall come and look, and behold, if the plague be spread in the house, it is a fretting leprosy in the house. It is unclean. Verse 45. And this also is a good lesson for young brothers and sisters that are coming in the truth, and for Christians in the world, because Christians don't understand the Most High. Okay, there was a way that we thought of the Most High in the so-called Old Testament. I'm just going to call it during the time of Moses, right? If you were living during this time, which we all were, because you come back to life again in this earth again, we all lived during this time. And during this time, it wasn't easy. And you had to be on your P's and Q's, meaning this: if there was leprosy in if there was a sickness like leprosy in your house, this specifically is speaking about leprosy. The houses were built with stone, with brick and mortar, like houses are built today. You had to take it down. You had to take those, the infested rock, the infested stone, limestone. You had to take it and throw it into the sea, or put it into an unclean city, the city of Moab, the city of Ammon. You had to take it to this unclean place and throw it there and dispose of it, right? Then the priest shall come and look. You're going to build it again. The leprosy from you is gone, but it stayed in your house. So now you had to take it, throw it away. Now you're going to remodel it. Now you're going to remodel your house, build it again. And it comes back again. The Bible in verse 44 says, then the priest shall come and look, and behold, if the plague be spread in the house, it is a fretting leprosy in the house. It is unclean. To someone living during that time that is not a priest of God, what do you think will be going through your mind at that time? What do you think will be going through your mind? This is a plague in your house. It's a plague that you received, but now it's in your house. You dispose of it. You don't have the plague anymore, but it stayed in your house, and it came back again after you dispose of the fretting leprosy, after you dispose of the leprosy. So now it comes back again. What would be going through your mind? Does anyone want to give it a shot? What will be going through your mind? Here, this leprosy is, you thought you got rid of it, but then it comes back again. So now what is going through your mind when it comes back again? For time's sake, you will be thinking, why is God cursing me? Because we know that we serve a mighty and powerful God. And he's the one who gives leprosy and heals the leprosy and takes it away. So now we know, damn, God is cursing me. Now think about the time we lived in under Christ. How Christ had us, remember, Christ made us think of the Most High as a father. In the Old Testament, we didn't think of him as a father. We just thought of him as a God of power that destroyed us when we didn't listen, that did these terrible things to us as a people, giving us up to vile affections, giving us up to nations to enslave us and rape us and to unalive our children and our youth. That's the way we thought of the Most High. We didn't think of him as like a father, like when Christ taught us to think of him like a father. Now that we know the truth, now that we have the truth, and we think of Christ as a father, so like we think of the Most High as a father, now how would you think about this leprosy issue? How would you think about this? This will help you understand life, right? This is these are important scriptures we're reading about, because it helps you understand life before Christ and life after Christ. Does everyone understand? Before Christ, this was a power that destroyed us. Now it's the Most High God, who is our Father, who you could change his mind on what he's going to do with you. And that's so beautiful. And it's life-saving, literally. Because instead of you going through life thinking, well, this is just a power that sits on the throne of heaven and earth, and he's just going to put me to death, and he's going to smite me, and I have to pay these tithes, I have to sacrifice this lamb, I have to sacrifice my turtle doves. Instead of putting the Lord, and instead of thinking about the Most High like you think about a judge that only punishes you, now you can think about him like a perfect father, the one that you never had. A father who is merciful, a father who will forgive you, and whose mind you can change with the correct behavior, with the right code of conduct. See, before you thinking of it like, damn, this leprosy keeps coming back. The Most High just don't like me. He just wants to kill me. But now in the Christ, you start to think about life like, well, I can do something so that I don't get this leprosy again. And that is the most beautiful thing about the the gospel of Jesus Christ. Our King Christ, a black man from the tribe of Judah, he made us understand that you can absolutely be born again, that you don't have to stay the same person you've always lived your life as. No matter if you're 14, 40, or 80 years old, you can change your life to be the person that the Lord wants you to be. You don't have to be a drug dealer. You don't have to smoke weed. You don't have to be lustful. You don't have to have sex outside of your race. You can change your life. You can change your life. You can not be a woman who leaves every man she's with, right? Before, we thought of it like, man, the Lord is going to kill me. I got to give these turtle doves to the priest. I got to do that and do this. Now, under Christ, we understand that if you don't live your life according to the laws of God, as the perfect father he is, he will give you leprosy and COVID and AIDS. He will give you, what is it called? BV. He will give you human papillomavirus, HPV. He will absolutely smite your children in the street by a white cop. But there's something you can do to get on the Lord's good side, just like a father. There's something you can do to make your father want to kill for you, and that's to obey him. And that's something that we didn't understand before Christ. We didn't understand the level of the severe, strict life that we have to live in order to be saved and in order to receive the protection from the Lord. I bet you this, Charlie Kirk wishes he had understood this. I bet you that. I bet you Charlie Kirk wishes that he had known that blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians are the real Jews and Israelites according to the Bible, and that his life is to serve them. If Charlie Kirk knew that and he lived his life like an oppressor is supposed to, according to the Bible, Charlie Kirk would still be alive. If Donald Trump, if he knew the place that he's supposed to take beneath the Israelites, then he would not be cursed with, what does he have? He has enlarged veins, short, small veins. It causes he got pus all filling his feet. He's cursed with some plague. Donald Trump is cursed with some plague, and rightfully so. Rightfully so. But he wouldn't have to live like that if he lived his life under the Israelites, according to how the Bible says for them to live. Right? Everybody has their place under heaven. Everybody under the sun. I should be more specific. Under the sun. Everybody has their place under the sun. Everybody has a role to play. Every race has a role to play. What the problem with this world is, we're all playing different roles. We're playing the wrong role. We're living as the servant when we're supposed to be the kings that's in charge of this world. And our oppressor is living as the king when he's supposed to be our servant. Right? The Asians, the Arabs, the Africans, everybody's living different lives. The roles are reversed. And it's all because we don't do what God says to do. We don't live how God says to live. We start doing that thing, brothers and sisters, we will be in charge. And then Donald Trump's blood-riddled feet will be under us as our servant. Everyone understand? This is Leviticus chapter 14 and verse 45. And he shall break down the house, the stones of it, and the timber thereof, and all the mortar of the house, and he shall carry them forth out of the city into an unclean place. Moreover, he that goeth into the house, all the while that it is shut up, shall be unclean until the even. This is Leviticus chapter 14 and verse 47. Let's see what we got going on. Verse 53. All right, let's get it. Leviticus chapter 14, verse 47. Wahashaka, Babayath, Yakabas, Af, Bagadyawa, Wahasalaki, Bagadyawa, Wahakal, Babayath, Yakabas, Af, Bagadyawa. Verse 48. Wa'am, Ba'a, Yaba'a, Hakahan, Wara'a, Wahana, La'a, Pasha, Hanagai, Babayah, Akarya, Hatak, Ah, Habayah, Wasahar, Hakahan, Ah, Habayah, Kaya, Narapa'a, Hanagai, verse 49. Walakwa, Lakata'a, Ah, Habayath, Shafyah, Tazaporath, Wa'itazah, Araz, Washanya, Thawalife, Wa'azah, verse 50, Washakat, Af, Hatapar, Ha'achaf, Al, Kalya, Karash, Al, Mayam, Kayam, verse 51, Walakwach, Af, Itazah, Ha'araz, Ha'arazah, Wa'af, Ha'azab, Wa'af, Shanya, Hathawala'if, Wa'af, Hatazapar, Hakaya, Watabal, Athum, Badum, Hatazapar, Hashaka Wata, Wabamayam, Hakayam, Waza, Al, Habayath, Ibai. No, I'm sorry, Shabai. So like Shabai, Pa'imyam, verse 52. Wakataza, Af, Habayath, Badum, Hataza Pawar, Wabayam, yeah, Wabamayam. All right, another tongue twister. Wabamayam, Hakayam, Wabataza Par, Hakaya, Wabaitaza, Ha'araz, Ha'arazah, Waba'izab, Wabashabai, Salakia, Wabashabia, Hathawalife, verse 53, Washalach, Af, Hatazapar, Hakaya, Al, Machawataza, La'ayar, Al, Panya, Hashada, Wakapar, Al, Habayath, Watahar. All right. This is Leviticus chapter 14, verse 47. And he that lieth in the house shall wash his clothes, and he that eateth in the house shall wash his clothes. And if the priest shall come in and look upon it, and behold, the plague had not spread in the house after the house was plastered, then the priest shall pronounce the house clean, because the plague is healed. Excuse me. And he shall take to cleanse the house 2 birds and cedar wood and scarlet and hyssop. And he shall kill the one of the birds in an earthen vessel over running water. Verse 51. And he shall take the cedar wood and the hyssop and the scarlet and the living bird and dip them in the blood of the slain bird and in the running water and sprinkle the house 7 times. Verse 52. And he shall cleanse the house with the blood of the bird and with the running water and with the living bird and with the cedar wood and with the hyssop and with the scarlet. Verse 53. Verse 53. But he shall let go the living bird out of the city into the open fields and make an atonement for the house, and it shall be clean. All right. Any comments? Let's see. Hey, shalom, sis. Yahweh Shemal Tabashim El Shah. All right. All right, let's get it. This is Leviticus chapter 14 and verse 54. Let's see. All right. Za'af. Go up. Za'af. Hathawar. Lakal. Nagai. Hatazara'if. Salakia. Wala Nathak. Verse 55. Wala Tazara'if. Salakia. Wala Tazara'if. Habagad. Wala Bayath. Verse 56. Wala Sha'af. Wala Sapakaf. Wala Baharath. Wala Baharath. Verse 57. Lahawarath. Laharuah, Bayawam, Hatama'ah, Wabayawam, Hatahar, Za'ath, Tharawaf, Hatazara'if. This is verse 1 of Leviticus chapter 15. Where the bar, Yahweh al Mashah, Wa'al, Aharon, La'amar. Verse 2. The bar, Al, Banya, Yasha'ala, Wa'amarath, Wa'amaratham, Alaham, Ayash, Kaya, Yahya, Zab, Mabashu, Mabasharwa, Zawabwa, Tama'ah, Hawa'ah, verse 3. Waza'ath, Thahaya, Tama'athwa, Bazawabwa, Rawa, Basharawa, Basharwa, Ath, Zarabawa, Awa, Akathiam, Basharwa, Mazawabwa, Tama'athwa, Hawa'ah. All right, let's go back. All right, this is Leviticus chapter 14 and verse 54. All right, this is the law for all manner of plague of leprosy and scald. Salakia. But he should. Yep. And for the leprosy of a garment and of a house, and for a rising and for a scab and for a bright spot, to teach when it is unclean and when it is clean. This is the law of leprosy. This is Leviticus chapter 15 and verse 1. And the Most High spake unto Moses and to Aaron, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, when any man hath a running issue out of his flesh, because of his issue he is unclean. And this shall be his uncleanness in his issue, whether his flesh run with his issue, or his flesh be stopped from his issue, it is his uncleanness. All right. This is speaking about an issue of your members, young man. All right. You're a brother and you have an issue what's going on in your members, then you need to report to a hospital. Don't come around no one. We don't know what you got. Remember, we are a very cleanly people. Just always remember that about Israel. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians are cleanly. We don't want you around us when you have issues of blood and issues with your members. Same goes for you sisters. You got something going on down at that tail. Take some time off, all right? Go take a week off and be unclean. Go do something else. Don't be around people. Don't be around priests and get brothers unclean. Same with brothers who have an issue or something, right? Go to a doctor. The Bible is encouraging good, healthy, hygienic practices. Go see a physician. Go see a gynecologist, woman. Brother, go to a urologist. Go get checked out, man. You need to see that about that prostrate. Go look at that damn, all of your members. Look at your private area, man. Go get that thing examined if you have something just running out of it. You need to watch what you're doing, right? You don't be around the brothers and then get us all unclean. We don't want that. Why is this so important? Because we don't want what you have. We don't want another COVID-19 disaster and epidemic. We want to be a cleanly people who are safe, you understand, from medical illnesses. We want to be safe from all that nonsense. The best way to give it to somebody is being around them, okay? We don't know if it's transmittable. We don't know. We don't want to know. We want you to stay away from us. And the Lord wants the same thing. So he encourages good hygiene practices. All right. So now this is Leviticus chapter 15 and verse 4. All right. Yep. All right. We're right on schedule. All right. This is Leviticus chapter 15 and verse 4. Call Hamashaka, Ashar, Yashaka, Alyua, Hazab, Yatama'ah, Wakal, Hakalya, Ashar, Yeshah, Alyua, Yatama'ah. Verse 5. All All right. Wa Ayash, Ashar, Yagai, Bamasha, Kabua, Kabua, Yakabas, Bagadayawa, excuse me, Warakatiza, Bamayam, Watama'a, Ide, High Rob, verse 6, Wahayashab, Al, Hakalya, Ashar, Yashab, Alyawa, Hazab, Yakabas, Bagadjua, Warakatiza, Bamayam, Watama'a, Ide, High Rob. All right, verse 7. Verse 7. Wahanagai, Babashar, Hazab, Yakabas, Bagadua, Warakatiza, Bamayam, Watama'a, Irab, verse 8. Wakaya, Yarak, Hazab, Bata Hawar, Wakabas, Bagayawa. Yeah, I'm sorry, Bagadua, Warakatiza, Bamayam, Watama'a, Irab, verse 9. Wakal, Hamarakah, Ashar, Yarakah, Alyua, Hazah, Yatama'a, verse 10. Wakal, Hanagai, Bakal, Ashar, Yahya, Thakathua, Yatama'a, Irab, Wahanawashia, our thumb, Yakabas, Bagadua, Warakatiza, Bamayam, Watama'a, Irab. All right. This is Leviticus chapter 15 and verse 4. Every bed whereon he lieth that hath the issue is unclean, and everything whereon he sitteth shall be unclean. And whosoever toucheth his bed shall wash his clothes and bathe himself in water, and be unclean until the even. And he that sitteth on anything whereon he sat that had the issue shall wash his clothes and bathe himself in water, and be unclean until the even. And he that toucheth the flesh of him that hath the issue shall wash his clothes and bathe himself in water, and be unclean until the even. And if you see that, white people, water, that's how you bathe. Water and washcloths, right? Not, bird baths and what are those things called? Baby wipes. Come on, man. Water, running water. That was a medical advancement hundreds of years ago to have running water. That's something we knew thousands of years ago because of the laws that God gave us. And he that touches the flesh of him that had the issue shall wash his clothes and bathe himself in water, and be unclean until the even. And if he that had the issue spit upon him that is clean, then he shall wash his clothes and bathe himself in water, and be unclean until the even. And what saddle soever he rideth upon that hath the issue shall be unclean. Verse 10, and whosoever toucheth anything that was under him shall be unclean until the even. And he that beareth any of those things shall wash his clothes and bathe himself in water, and be unclean until the even. This is Leviticus chapter 15 and verse 11. Wakal, Ashar, Yagai, Bawa, Hazab, Wayadua, La'a, Shatap, Bamayam, Wakabas, Bagadua, Warakatiza, Bamayam, Watama'a, Irab, verse 12. Wakalia, Karash, Ashar, Yagai, Bawa, Hazab, Yashabar, Wakal, Kalya, Itiza, Yashasa. Salaki, Yashata. Bamayam, verse 13. Wakaya, Yatahar, Hazar, Mazarwabwa, Wasapar, Lawa, Shabaith, Yum, Lataharathwa, Wakabas, Bagadua, Warakataza, Basharwa, Bamayam, Hayam, Watahar, verse 14. Wabayawam, Hachimayanya, Yakwak, Lawa, Shafya, Thorayam, Awa, Shanya, Banya, Yawana, Waba'a, Lapanya, Yahweh, Al, Pathak, Ahal, Mawa'ai, Wanathanum, Al, Hakahan, verse 15. Wa'aisha, Atham, Hakahan, Akkad, Kata'ah, Wa'akad, Al-Allah, Wakapar, Alua, Hakahan, Lapanya, Yahweh, Mazawabwa, verse 16. Wa'ayash, Kaya, the Taza'ah, Mamanawa, Shakabath, Zerai, Warakataza, Bamayam, Af, Kal, Basharwa, Watama'a, Ha'ira, verse 17. Wakal, Bagad, Wakal, Iwar, Ashar, Yahya, Al Salakia, Yahya, Alua, Shakabath, Zerai, Wakabas, Bamayam, Watama'a, Ha'irab. All right. This is Leviticus chapter 15 and verse 11. All right. And whomsoever he toucheth, that hath the issue, and hath not rinsed his hands in water, he shall wash his clothes and bathe himself in water and be unclean until the even. Very, very clean people we are, brothers and sisters. Don't lose that. Don't ever forget that. Don't let some oppressors teach you or try to tell you that washcloths and come on. White people like to live like animals, and we are not. We are a clean people, and we're going to stay a civilized people, and not animalistic like our oppressor, and base and low like our oppressor and the heathens. Verse 12. And the vessel of earth that he touches which hath the issue shall be broken, and every vessel of wood shall be rinsed in water. And when he that hath an issue is cleansed of his issue, then he shall number to himself 7 days for his cleansing, and wash his clothes, and bathe his flesh in running water, and shall be clean. Verse 14. And on the 8th day he shall take to him 2 turtle doves or 2 young pigeons, and come before the Most High into the door of the tabernacle of the congregation, and give them unto the priest. Verse 15. And the priest shall offer them, the one for a sin offering, and the other for a burnt offering. And the priest shall make an atonement for him before the Most High for his issue. And if any man's seed of copulation go out from him, then he shall wash all his flesh in water, and be unclean until the even. Verse 17. And every garment and every skin whereon is the seed of copulation shall be washed with water, and be unclean until the even. All right. I imagine, which means to stand. SHALAM, which means to Israel. Which means to stand. Which means to rise and face the east. Right? We're going to read the Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew. Yahanna, Shabbat Shemaya, Kodash, Hayah, Shemka, Yahweh, Malakuka, Daba'a, Ratazak, Hayah, I.S.U.P.K, Ma'aratazak, Kawa, Hayah, Bashemaya, Nathanaw, Lacham, Kal, Yawam, Wasalachanaw, Kabawaknaw, Kasalachnaw, Kabawakinaw, Wala'a, Kabaya'anaw, Button say one, a ball, Hawashanaw, Mayan, Rai, Kaya, Laka, Amalakwa, Waha'ala, Wahakapara, Lawalamim, Aman. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever, so be it. A cop, prayer for the power in the Hebrew. Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahushua, Baba Busha, the Thunderna, Hakaf, Hakaf, La Pa'a, Kal Machala, Wakal Marawat, Hakaf, Latahar, Hamatazariah, Hakaf, Lahaku, Hamaku, Hakaf, Awakawa, Atama Allah, Lagarashan, Ba'ashim Yahushua, the water Aman. Yahweh, in the name of Yahushua, please give us the power to heal all men of sickness and all men of disease, the power to cleanse the lepers, the power to raise the dead, the power against unclean spirits, to cast them out in the name of Yahushua. Thank you, so be it. The prayer to bless Israel in the Hebrew. Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahushua, Baraklanah, Wayasha'Allah, Waha, Bayasapar, Barakapah, Magun, Ba'ashim Yahushua, for what I'm on. Yahweh, in the name of Yahushua, bless us and Israel in the school. Bless, heal, shield, protect our loved ones in the name of Yahushua. Thank you, so be it. Psalms 121 in the Hebrew. Asha'a, Ayami, all heart, Ma'ayan, Yaba'a, Isaiah, Ma'an, Yahweh, Aisha, Shemaya, Wa'aratiza, all your son, the Mawat, Regalka, all Yanawam, Shemarka, Ana, La'a, Yanawam, Wala'a, Yashan, Shamamar, Yasha'Allah, Yahweh, Shemarka, Yahweh, Tazalka, Alya, Yandinka, Yamamam, Hashimash, La'a, Yakarka, Wayaba, Balayala, Yahweh, Yashamarka, Makara, Yashamar, Aknapashka, Yahweh, Yashamar, Taza'aka, Wa'aka, Ma'itha, Wa'ai, Awalam, Aman. I lift my eyes into the hills, from whence cometh my help. My help coming from Yahweh, which made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. Behold, he that keepeth Israel shall neither slumber nor sleep. Yahweh is thy keeper. Yahweh is thy shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. Yahweh shall preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. Yahweh shall preserve thy going out and thy coming in, from this time forth and even forevermore. So be it. Psalm 83. In the Hebrew, Alahayim, Al-Yalaka, Al-Harash, Al-Shaqat, Yahanna, Al-Yabika, Yahanna, Walashanai, Nasha'awa, Ra'ash, Al-Haimaka, Ya'arayam, Sawa, Wayathay Sawa, Al-Tazak, Wanyaka, Amawa, the Kawa, Wanakaki, the Mogoya, Wala'a, Yazakar, Sham Yasha'ala, Aywa, Kaya, Nava Tazawa, La, Yakadwa, Al-Yaka, Bayak, Yakarashu, Aholi, Adawan, Wayashima Ali, Mawa'aba, Wahagari, Gabar, Wa'amawan, Wa'amala, Palachak, I.S.U.P.K, Tazawar, Gamashwar, Nalawa, Imam, Hayy, Zarawa, the Bandinawat, Salah, Aisha, Laham, Kamati, Kasaya, Sara'a, Kayabi, Barakar, Koyashwan, Nashamati, Bayan, Nara, Hayy, the Man, Adama, Shed Thumma, Nadiyaba, Wakaira, Wakazaba, Wakazalvana, Kala say Kamwa, Ashar, Amawa, Nayusha, Lanawa, Nawa, Alahai, Alahaya, Shed Thumma, Kagawa, Kakwash, Lapanya Raka, Taba Area Iris, Taba Area Iris, Salaki, Wakalahaba, Talahat, Haryam, Khan, Taba Dat, Masaira, Baba Sawa Papa, Tabala, Mala'a, Panyahan, Kwalawan, where Kwashra, Shemka, Yahweh, Yabashra, where Bahala, Ayah, where Kapara, where Bat, where the Ayah, Kaya, Asa, Shemka, Yahweh, Labaka, Al, Yuan, Al, Kal, Aratiza, Aman. Keep not thou silence, O Yahweh. Hold not thy peace, and be not still, O Yahweh. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, Come, and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee, the tabernacles of Edom, and the Ishmaelites, of Moab, and the Hagarenes, and Ammon, so like Gebal, and Ammon, and Amalek, the Philistines, with the inhabitants of Tyre. Asa also is joined with them. They have hope in the children of Lot. Salah, do unto them as unto the Midianites, at Sisera, at Sijabin, at the brook of Kasam, which perished at Endor. They became as dung for the earth. Make their nobles like Arab and like Zed. Yea, all their princes, as Ba and as the Muna, who said, let us take to ourselves the houses of Yahweh in possession. O my power, make them like a wheel, as the stubble before the wind, as the fire burneth the wood, and as the flame setteth the mountains on fire. So persecute them with thy tempest, and make them afraid with thy storm. Fill their faces with shame, that they may seek thy name. O Yahweh, let them be confounded and troubled forever. Yea, let them be put to shame and perish, and men may know that thou, whose name alone is Yahweh, art the Most High over all the earth. So be it. The prayer for the blessings of the power structure in the Hebrew. Barak Yahweh, Wa Yahanna Shah, Wa Yaka'ala, Wa Alahayim, Matizadi Alawak Yahanna, Ha Alawapim, Ha Sarani, Ha Quartas the Yandim, Ha Kayayawim, Wa Wapim, Yahweh, Ba Hashem Yahweh Shah for what Aman. Bless you, Yahweh, and Yahweh Shah, and Michael, and the angels, Salaki, commanding General Yahanna, the generals, the captains, the officers, the troopers, and the sisters. Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shah, thank you, so be it. Song, which means to turn. Men of Israel, we want to give one courtesy salute to the brothers. Men of Israel, I'm Adam Shabbat, I'm Madi, Barak, Yahweh, Shemi Al-Shak on the phone, Yajimatan Sar, face the sisters. Men of Israel, we're going to give one courtesy salute to the sisters. Men of Israel, I'm Adam Shabbat, I'm Madi, Barak, Yahweh Shema Al-Than, Shemi Al-Shak. Yajimatan, dismissed.